Welcome back, guys, to a new team selection video. First, let's just quickly go through what happened in Game Week 3. And as you guys can see here, 46 points, which is absolutely terrible. And we got a Game Week rank of 6.7 million. Our overall rank is 5.1 million. And that's one of my worst starts ever. But I guess all the other content creators are going through the same thing. So I'm not really alone. And congrats on those of who are, getting the points and have a much higher rank. I think this week's disaster was João Pedro, not having him and him getting 15 points. That was pretty terrible for my team. And there are many people who free hit and had Saka, Gyökeres, and a Arsenal defender. So that really hurt as well. But luckily, Salah returned again in the 96th minute or whatever it was. Gakpo made up for that João Pedro haul, and yeah, I'm very, very disappointed in Fernandes, Watkins, and Mateta, especially Fernandes, who got annoyed at the referee touching him or shoving him a little bit by accident, and then he just skied the penalty. I don't know what went into his head, but we move on, and this is a nice segue because as much as I am angry at Manchester United, especially for crashing out of the League Cup against Grimsby, who's they're a fourth division team, and United didn't play the kids or like a under 18, under 19, under 20 team. They actually played 3 or 4 or 5 starters. Including Cunha, by the way, who I have the captain's armband on, who I actually transferred in this week instead of Palmer, because as you guys know, Palmer's out. I have 2 free transfers and I need someone else. But again, if you guys watched my optimal FPL strategy video, you will realize that I love making a plan and sticking to it. And part of the plan is wildcard 13, and I have actually kind of figured out who I'm going to be transferring in every single game week until then. And the fixture to target this week very easily is Burnley. Regardless of how poor Man United are, I think Burnley should be targeted. It's one of the easier fixtures. You should have at least one Man United midfielder. I wouldn't advise you to get 2, even though I have 2, but I'm a United fan. There's a little bit of bias that comes into my thought. Of course, I want to do great at FPL, and it's not like a terrible decision after all. Like, they're playing Burnley, and logic says they have to turn it around at some point. Guys, even last year, we had Fernandes at some point, right? You had a United midfielder like Ahmad or whatever. And just because they finished 15th, this doesn't mean that you didn't get their points or didn't play them in the easy fixtures. I doubt anybody last year didn't hold Ahmad or Fernandes at least for a few weeks. So same logic applies here. For their easy fixtures, there's still professional football players that should attack quite a lot, and I think they will score and do well. So that's why we have Cunha. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be captaining him. It might switch over to Fernandes, but ultimately this is the team, and I think it looks very, very good. But quickly, I'm going to show you what the team will look like going forward. This right here. So this is the team in Game Week 3, the team you just saw. This is what it looks like. And now you're wondering what's going to happen next week. If we go to next week, I would have made 2 transfers. Of course, if no injuries occur or no crazy, situation happens. But part of the plan is to have Gyökeres and to get Sar, because they have super easy fixtures. Cunha I could play, but because he comes back from Brazil, so it depends on what happens there. So I could just play Reinders. Again, United have a poor defense, so I'm not really that scared of playing Reinders. And if he doesn't show, I can always play Cunha. That's the beauty of having 8 attackers, especially when I'm pretty set on the wild card. Game Week 5 looks like this. So, no transfers, and we have a decent team. Cunha comes back in because Reinders has Arsenal away. Game Week 6, which is, where we make the big moves. Excuse me. We move out Salah for Cullen, who just becomes a bench fodder, because we will be bench boosting in game week 8, so I'm planning for that. By the way, it could be anybody else. Like by game week 6, so many things would have happened, so it's not gonna be Cullen, might be Arias, it might be any like cheap midfielder. So don't really think like look at this too much. But the most important takeaway is that we will have Haaland at home to Burnley, and I'm not going to be free hitting. I will just transfer Haaland in because he does have the better fixtures going forward, or at least in the next 3 or 4 game weeks. So this would be the team. I don't mind playing Sarr at home to Liverpool. Liverpool have been atrocious at the back, so why not have one of the best counter-attack players in the game in Sarr? And Crystal Palace are no pushovers. Game week 7, beautiful, gorgeous team. You might be like, oh, I don't want you. Like you wouldn't want Gakpo away to Chelsea. I could move him on, to be honest. This is not set in stone. So my transfer for this week would have been Gabriel in for, who do we have? I actually forgot. Diouf. Yeah, Gabriel in for Diouf, but I could not do that transfer and play Van de Ven. Van de Ven has Leeds. I could just transfer Gakpo on if I start seeing Isak, if they buy him, because they haven't announced it as of today. But if they do get him and he starts affecting Gakpo's minutes, then it's a pretty easy choice of just moving Gakpo on. And we do have money in the bank. So if we revert this game week, it would have looked like this. So we have 3.4 million. And with 3.4 million, I can literally do Saka instead. So instead of getting Gabriel, I can just get Saka at home to West Ham. I actually might do this, by the way, because this looks way better. But yeah, so this is my bench boost game week and so on. I'm not going to go too far into this, but you can see there's a plan and it's not that hard to execute, as you can see here, unless a lot of injuries happen or a lot of suspensions at the same time. But then, you know, a -4, you know, here or there wouldn't be the end of the world. Don't be too scared to use to take hits, I would say. But anyways, guys, this is the team for next week. Very straightforward. I just transferred out Palmer because he's injured. Got Cunha. He's my captain as of now. And yeah, wish me good luck for this coming game week, because God knows I need it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.